Hello, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila, as this will appear on both channels. This is The Illusion of New Age, A Spiritual Death in Disguise by Jason Gray. A world enchanted by the superficial. We live in an era where spirituality has been repackaged into something palatable, marketable, and ultimately hollow. I could not agree more. The New Age movement, in its modern iteration, has become a carefully curated illusion, a realm where love and light are preached endlessly, where personal vibrations are monitored like stock prices. Wow. Oh, that's so true. And where the most complex, ancient, and sacred spiritual truths have been diluted into social media sound bites and overpriced weekend retreats. This is not enlightenment. Oh, so true. This is not transformation. This is spiritual sedation. I could not agree more, Jason. Oh my God. I have gotten myself in so much trouble with light workers for this very reason. Oh my word. A great deception lingers in the air, like the artificial scent of lavender essential oils, promising peace without struggle, healing without confrontation, and enlightenment without effort. It is a movement built on the denial of reality, a carefully constructed mirage that seduces the masses into believing they are on a profound journey, when in truth, they are simply treading water in the shallows of their own being. I'd tread that water for a little while myself, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I knew something wasn't right. And that's what I saw the first thing. And I tried it and it didn't feel right either. I felt a little like the little boy who saw the emperor was wearing no clothes. And I wasn't too well received in a lot of circles. Wow. This is spiritual death, the slow and silent decay of the soul under the weight of its own unacknowledged darkness. This is why I called myself a dark worker rather than a light worker. Not gonna lie. Beware the false light. There are those who claim to be light workers, beings of love and harmony, shining their divine radiance upon the world. Yet many of them live in a curated state of avoidance. Too true. They refuse to acknowledge anything that might disturb the tranquility of their illusion. They reject pain, fear, anger, and suffering as, quote, low vibrational, as if ignoring the existence of darkness will somehow render it powerless. Oh, Jason, I love the way you captured all of this for sure. But here is the great paradox. Light is not the absence of darkness. It is the force that confronts it. The real work of a light worker is not found in chanting affirmations while turning a blind eye to suffering. It is not in maintaining a perfectly balanced aesthetic of crystals, sage bundles, and soft spoken wisdom. It is not in the endless pursuit of positive energy while secretly shoving unresolved trauma into the recesses of the subconscious. That is so true. True light work is about confrontation. It is about entering the shadows of existence unafraid and doing the grueling, uncomfortable work of transmutation. It is about bearing witness to the suffering of the world and daring to engage with it rather than turning away in the name of preserving your peace. Too true. It is not a path of convenience. It is not a path of comfort. It is a path of war. A war against the illusions we have built around ourselves, against the layers of conditioning that keep us asleep, and most of all, against the darkness that lurks within us, whispering its seductions of ignorance, denial, and false peace. To do this work requires courage beyond measure. Ain't that the truth? It requires the willingness to be shattered, to be torn apart by the truths that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. I have said this a number of times because it's really painful to do this kind of work. Shadow work is not for the faint of heart. Trust me. Ask me how I know. Wow, Jason, I love the way you put this. And this is why the majority of those who claim to be light workers are nothing more than spiritual performers. The hollow echo of the false light workers. These self-proclaimed spiritual guides flood social media with carefully curated messages about love, peace, and, quote, high vibrations. They insist that one must only focus on the positive, that speaking of hardship, injustice, or suffering will only, quote, manifest more of it. They smile serenely in their photographs, their worlds wrapped in an aura of artificial perfection. But this is not the work of light. This is the work of deception, whether intentional or not. To be a bearer of light is not to drown oneself in positivity while ignoring the shadows. It is not to speak only of love while sidestepping the realities of pain. It is not to surround oneself solely with like-minded voices that reinforce the illusion of safety and comfort. True light workers do not seek to be adored. They do not seek to be popular. They do not avoid the uncomfortable truths of existence. In fact, they do the very opposite. They walk willingly into the places that others fear to tread. They speak the words that others dare not say. They bring light not only to the already illuminated, but to the places where darkness has long reigned unchecked. And so a great distinction must be made between those who perform spirituality and those who embody it. The former will offer you polished wisdom, comforting platitudes, and a safe space where nothing truly uncomfortable is ever discussed. The latter will ask you to look at yourself in ways that terrify you. They will challenge you, provoke you, and force you to confront the aspects of yourself that you would rather keep buried. That's true. And I have been ever so grateful for those who have done that for me. My housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush, and my partner over at New Light Streaming Love, Crystal Hemphill. Those two in particular, and for the most part, have been the only two that I could count on consistently to assist me with my shadow work. They will speak of pain, of injustice, of suffering, not because they revel in negativity, but because they understand that it is only through facing these things that true healing can occur. Face and embrace, baby, that's the only way. And this is why the false light workers will always be more popular. They tell people what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. I know that's true. I'm telling you, I see that kind of stuff going on all the time. The great work, transmuting darkness. Real transformation is not comfortable. It is not gentle. It is not a leisurely stroll into enlightenment. It is violent. It is shattering. It is an annihilation of everything you thought you knew about yourself. Oh my God, Jason, you know you're right. It is a descent into your own personal underworld where you must come face to face with the demons you have spent your entire life running from. It is an excavation of buried pain, of unresolved wounds, of ancestral trauma that has been passed down through generations like an invisible curse. And it is in this darkness that true light is born. The process of transmutation, the alchemical art of turning lead into gold, is not metaphorical. It is literal. The lead is the unprocessed pain, the unconscious fears, the traumas we refuse to acknowledge. And the gold is the wisdom, the power, the enlightenment that emerges when we dare to face them head on. But this is not the work for the faint-hearted. This is not the work of those who seek only peace and comfort. This is the work of warriors, of initiates, of those who understand that true light is not found in avoidance, but in confrontation. This is why no amount of yoga retreats, vegan diets, or new age music will do this for you. These things may be tools, but they are not the path itself. They cannot replace the deep, agonizing work of self-examination, of shadow integration, of dismantling the illusions that keep us enslaved. It is not enough to speak of love. One must walk through the fire of their own darkness to emerge reborn. The path of the true light worker. So what does it mean to be a true light worker in the world that has been deceived by the illusion of New Age spirituality? It means being willing to stand alone, to walk the path of truth, even when it makes others uncomfortable. And trust me, I know that feeling. And so does Lisa, and so does Crystal. Wow, Jason. It means being willing to challenge the narratives of love and light, when they are used to and used as an excuse for inaction and avoidance. It means stepping into the depths of your own soul and confronting everything that you have buried there. It means owning your darkness rather than pretending it doesn't exist. Wow. Most of all, it means understanding that light is not a destination, but a process of continuous transformation, of endless confrontation with the self, of ceaseless dedication to truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Don't ever think you're done. I'm speaking to myself here more than I am any of you that might be listening to this. If you seek to be a true worker of light, abandon the illusions of the new age. Reject the false comfort of endless positivity. Enter the darkness. Face yourself, your fears, your guilt, your buried traumas. Sit with them. Understand them. Transmute them. And then, and only then, will you truly know what it means to bring light into the world. Wow, that is so true. Because light is not found in avoiding darkness. Light is found in walking through darkness. Oh my God, Jason. That is so true. Wow. Got me doing the ugly cry here, sir. I am ever so grateful to Jason for his writing, but right here and now, I'm also so grateful to my partners, Lisa Flamino Rush and Crystal Hemphill. Without those two women being there to assist me when I try to run from myself, to help me face myself. And if you have no one to help you face yourself, reach out. I'll help you. If they hadn't reached back to help me, I'll help you. Feel free to comment. Feel free to send me an email, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. I tried once before to start a club, sacred healing space, a sacred healing space. I wanted that so much in the physical. I wanted a place where people could come, where we could do that kind of work. And it just never happened because people couldn't get over themselves. Wow, Jason. I want that to happen still. But if we have to start online, we can start online. Hit me up, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. Until we meet again, my friends, be well. Wow, Jason.